Hello everyone, it is me, James from Dr. Mustard, and continuing our series, The Nine Holds of Skyrim, we follow the winding path to the Amber province of Whiterun. Now if you have played a good chunk of the 5th Elder Scrolls entry, then you'll know how important Whiterun is to the main story. Whiterun is where you fight your first dragon, where you find out you're Dovahkiin, the Dragonborn, where you buy your first noble steed and venture up the tiring 7,000 steps to High Hrothgar. Without a shadow of a doubt, Whiterun brings the most nostalgia to your average Skyrim player, as it is one of the first major settlements you'll come across. And, of course, Whiterun has many unforgettable faces, whether they are nice or unpleasant. From the smug mouth of Nazim, to the cheerful, welcoming atmosphere of Belethor, from the loyal yet clumsy housecarl of Lydia, to the competitive clan of the Companions. Sure, Solitude and Markarth may have a more grand scale and more things to do, but nothing will ever beat first entering the gates of Whiterun. So now we will return home to Whiterun and look at what made it so special to Skyrim. So starting outside the Whiterun borders, we have Honningbrew Meadery, which is one of the biggest competitors in the meadery business. Now in the Thieves Guild questline, you actually come to Honningbrew Meadery to poison the vats of mead. This is because Maven Blackbriar, the other competitor in the mead business, works with the Thieves Guild. And as expected, Sir Bjorn, the owner of Honningbrew Meadery, sells a lot of mead and other delicacies such as potato and apple pie. Situated adjacent to the roads leading to Markarth and Solitude is the Western Watchtower, which is where you fight your first dragon. And moving on to the right, we have the stagecoach, which is where you can go to other areas very early in the game, and the actual stables itself, which is where you can buy a horse for 1,000 gold. Now the Whiterun guards don a very yellow attire, which is most likely in homage to the yellow trees surrounding the province. Starting off to the east side of Whiterun, we have War Maidens, which is a shop for blacksmithing. Featuring a 2-story height, this building feels very big. Now in terms of quantity, War Maidens offers loads of iron, leather, orichalcum, corundum. You have loads of things, and you also have leather apparel, and will have you set with starting items for your first adventure in the big world of Skyrim. Now moving next door, we have Windhelm, which is most likely your first ever house you'll buy, featuring a base cost of 5,000 septims. Now across the street we have the Drunken Huntsman. At first it seems like a pub or an inn, but it actually is a place where you buy your hunting wares. Now the Huntsman sells things like pickaxes and axes, which you can use to chop wood and mine quarried stone. Now similar to War Maidens, the Huntsman sells a lot of gear, but this one is primarily allocated to hunting animals. Now moving on rapidly, we have the famous trader of Belethor. Not only does Belethor's shop have such a nice atmosphere, it's also his voice.
Interesting, to say the least. What with all that's been going on. On the one hand, supplies are harder to come by since fewer traders are traveling the roads these days. But on the other, the scarcity of supplies has led to some, well, elevated prices. All that matters is that I have what you need, and it's worth every septim.
How iconic.
Do come back.
Oh, I will. Now as a person who hasn't paid much attention to alchemy in RPGs, I don't come to Arcadia's Cauldron very much. Now Arcadia's Cauldron feels almost like an inn, as it features rooms and beds and everything. Now as you may have guessed, Arcadia's Cauldron offers a plethora of potions and ingredients, offering some pretty messed up stuff like a dog's eye. Now for a tavern, the Bannered Mare offers loads of space and even holds one of the Dark Brotherhood contracts. You can also marry Uthgerd the Unbroken after doing a brawl for 100 septims. Now the Bannered Mare's allocated bard is Michael, who can sing you the Age of Aggression and the famous Ragnar the Red.
Oh, there once was a hero named Ragnar the Red who came riding to Whiterun from old Rorikstead. And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told of bold battles and gold.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Now in the centre of Whiterun we have the big old tree. I don't know much about it, but I'm pretty sure it's called like the Ancient Oak. Here we have Lucia, who you can adopt. And over here we have Heimskr, who shows great passion for his god Talos. As I went through in the last video, the Shrine of Talos offers a blessing which reduces your time between shouts by 20%. Now at first, what looks like a nice building is in fact the dark and dingy Hall of the Dead. Now the Hall of the Dead gives us the Shrine of Arche, which is the god of life and death, which makes a lot of sense. Now after fighting a few skeletons, you'll find yourself in the Whiterun catacombs, which I'm pretty sure is just the alternative to a graveyard. Now moving on from a place of death, we go straight to the place of the heavens, which is the Temple of Kiraneth. Now as we can see, this place is very pretty. Around here we have people being injured and treated. We have some stunning volumetric light coming from the windows, which just makes this place look 10 times better. We've got a little water going on here. One more note is that the Blessing of Kiraneth offers 25 more points of stamina, and just overall one of the most beautiful buildings you will ever find in Skyrim. Now this street here is just basically the Whiterun neighbourhood. This is where you'll find all the houses, such as Uthgerd's house. One of the final few buildings you'll look at is the place for the companions, Jorvaskar. Now the companions is a guild where you turn into a werewolf and fight werewolf hunters. It is a very cool quest line. Now over here is the Skyforge, which is where you can make unique armor you could not normally make in a blacksmith. Now Jorvaskar offers a very Nordic longhouse design, and in the living quarter of Kodlak Whitemane you can find a Stone of Baranzyre. Now one of the most recognisable buildings in Whiterun is Dragon's Reach. Not only is Dragon's Reach home to the Jarl, but it can also hold and capture a dragon. Now as you can see, Dragon's Reach is the biggest building in the whole of Skyrim. One of my favourite things about Whiterun and Dragon's Reach is the view. Just look at it. You can see the Western Watchtower from here. You have a great view. I'm pretty sure that's Bleak Falls Barrow over there. We have a great view of the mountain and even High Hrothgar. Another great view you can find in Skyrim is the Great Porch in Dragon's Reach. Just look at it. The only downside you have is you can't jump off it. Now another great thing you can do on the Great Porch is eat a sandwich and have a good wine with Proventus Avenici and Prongar. So fellas, that marks the end of the video. If you really like this video, I would appreciate a like, a sub and a notification, or all three. That would make my day. So far my time on YouTube has been a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. Without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. See ya!